Okay, I am now preparing Matthias Johnson's medications for him. He's a patient born 11/29/1950. I'll start by doing hand hygiene. I will go ahead and put on some nitrile gloves. He didn't mention a latex allergy, but we have nitrile gloves anyway. If he did have a latex allergy, I would note that and avoid using any latex gloves for any administration where I could be in any way touching him. I mean, in general, I just shouldn't use them at all around that patient. Okay. Okay, I'm going to gather all of the medications I need for this patient from the med cart. So I guess I can pull this list up so you can see it. So this one is the erythro eye ointment. I'm going to check the 6 rights on it. I'm going to check that it's the right, for each man I'm going to check the right route, the right medication, the right patient, the right dose, the right documentation, and the right time. So this erythro is going to be, it's 800 in the morning right now, and we'll be giving half ribbon to each eye. Checked my 6 rides, hasn't expired. We're good on the erythro, so I've got that on my thing here. The Practipred, that's 60 milligrams by mouth. That's the Robitussin, so, well, I guess I'll do that next since it's what I grabbed. Normally I'd probably go top to bottom and grab them individually instead of, since they're all in one thing, it's, instead of rooting through them, I feel like it's easier to pull it out and to look at it. But normally I'd grab them top to bottom out of the different drawers they're in. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll put this erythro back just to do it properly from the beginning. This is demo dose inhaler. This is Practi. Okay, this is the Practidoxy, which isn't the Practipede. They're very similar sounding, so we want to be careful about that. This is the Practipred. Okay, Practipred. And this is 60 milligram dose. Each of these individual packages with, I believe these are, it says do not ingest. I believe these are ODTs. The package, there isn't a packaging for them except for the little pack, or I would double check it with that. It says do not ingest. They look like ODTs to me. There's 3 of them in here. That adds up 20 milligrams times 3 is 60 milligrams, which is the total dose we need. The erythro is half-inch ribbon to each eye. That is also going to be occurring at 8 a.m., so that's the second one on my list, so this time I'm genuinely putting that on here. I'll go ahead and go down the order. The next one is the Praxidoxy, which is right here. Now, actually, technically, this package right here has a puncture in it, so if this was real life, and this wasn't me just demonstrating on a video, I would have gone and requested another one of these. I would have gone to the pharmacy and said, hey, our Praxidoxy here has a puncture in it. This is no longer usable. And then I would have gotten a new med for the patient. But this is make-believe, so I'm pretending that this flaw isn't there. And for the Praxidoxy, you need 100 milligrams, which just so happens to be the dosage of one of these capsules. The albuterol inhaler is 2 puffs. This is the albuterol inhaler, and I'll go ahead and give 2 puffs on that inhaler. Go ahead and put them in order so it's easy to see. The Robitussin is 400 milligrams, so I'll go ahead and I'll be pouring my my Robitussin into this here med cup. It says 2 teaspoons, 400 milligrams. I'm going to go ahead and double check the dosage. It says 200 milligrams per 5 milliliters. So 400 milliliters should be 10 milligrams, or excuse me, 200 milligrams should be 10 milliliters, which it says 2 teaspoons at the same thing, 5 milliliters per teaspoon. So that's the correct dose. I'll go ahead and pour my 2 teaspoons or 10 milliliters into the med cup, and let's see, this med cup, there it is. See, there's milliliters. Oh, and there's teaspoons. They're the same spot, but I'll go off 10 milliliters just because I will. I will be looking for the meniscus, the bottom of the meniscus. That's where I'll be measuring it. Okay, and that is 10 milliliters right there. And, we have okay, and then the last med is nasal allergy relief to each nair. That's this Similaxin, and our checklist says to when we crush the meds, the capsules that are being swallowed, to and I would, and if I had the ability to, I would double check this Practipred and make sure that it isn't an ODT. But since I don't have that resource here, I'm gonna, well, I'll just go ahead and crush it because we don't have the ability to look it up. But I would never give it without looking it up in real life. This is just for this demonstration. And also, I will crush up, or I will open this capsule of Practidoxy, so long as it isn't contraindicated for any of these. If they're contraindicated, then I wouldn't do that, and I would check that. But I'll go ahead and crush them up in this med cup. Pill crusher. Here's our pill crusher. Oh, let's go ahead and actually crush some pills. That should be exciting. So I'm going to open these without touching them and put them in there. Oh no, that's not an ODT. That thing's huge. Okay. I mean, I guess you could have a big ODT, but it seems unlikely that this would be an ODT to me. Come on out. Okay, there we go. Yeah, usually I would think that an ODT would be smaller, just because if you want it to dissolve. But maybe they need a large amount of it, who knows. Or it's, okay, for the blister pack, I can go ahead and pop it like that. Just trying to make sure I don't puncture the pill while I do this. I'm sure that it'd be faster if I just got a little used to it. Okay, since this is a capsule, I was thinking just crush it in there. I may have to remove the capsule, the actual lining of the capsule later on, or maybe, let's see how this thing crushes it. Maybe I could have opened the capsule and poured the contents in. In fact, I think, since I still have a full capsule in there, I am going to, and I haven't lost my med yet. Okay, I'm going to do that. I believe I should have poured the capsule in the first place, so I'm going to, okay, I got the capsule out. I'm glad I'm wearing gloved hands because we're gonna. Okay, let's open this capsule up. I wish this patient happened to want to swallow it. I'm sure that a lot of people have had that feeling before. Did lose a little bit of powder there, which the instructions said to, the checklist said to do each medication separately, crush them separately, and administer them separately with a separate teaspoon. But I was told that we could crush them all together, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. But I could see theoretically why they would want them to be separate. Now, in order to administer this crushed medication, I would get the pudding and I'd put some pudding on the bottom here, or applesauce, or whatever's to the patient's preference. I actually could have asked that when they asked me to crush them. I could have said, do you prefer them with applesauce or pudding if we have both available? But anyhow, I didn't give them an option. I didn't realize we'd have applesauce here. I thought we just had pudding. But anyway, I'll put some pudding in the bottom. I'll put the meds on top of that. Then I'll put some more pudding on top. I'll try not to make there be too much pudding, because somebody who has problems with aspiration and has problems with the gag reflex may not be able to swallow that much stuff. So I want to be careful about that. But yeah, I don't actually have the pudding here. I'm going to leave this in the pill crusher as it is. Didn't clean this pill crusher ahead of time. I think it depends on what type of pill crusher I'm using. If I'm using a reusable one, I should have cleaned it first. If I'm using a disposable one, then obviously I don't have to. Now look at this. This is reusable, so I really should have wiped it clean with the alcohol swab, made sure that none of the previous meds that could have been in there, been sitting in there this whole time, could have got in it. So I didn't do that, but I would do that. And if I realized at this point in real life that I hadn't done it, I would discard the contents, get new meds, and then do that. But I put it in the pudding. The pudding's in here. You can't see it because it's invisible pudding, and the medication's also invisible. So let me go ahead and I'll dispose of those. I'll go ahead and take those wrappers with me, actually, just so that I have something to look at what I put in there, since the meds are powdered now inside of a cup of pudding. Okay, so I have all of my medications, and I double checked them on here. Yeah, we got that one, that one. And I am ready to take them to the patient's room. Hey patient, quit yawning. No. Okay.